I recognize the member from London West.
Thank you very much, Speaker. It is a pleasure to rise today to participate in this debate on the 2025 Ontario budget. This is a period of unprecedented economic uncertainty that we are facing. We are looking south of the border and seeing the most significant threat to our economy, even our sovereignty, that we have ever seen before. And so this budget would have been an opportunity for this government to respond to these realities in a meaningful way. Instead, what the government delivered is a Band-Aid budget that doesn't provide the support that workers and families are looking for, that workers and families need in this province right now. This was a missed opportunity for this government to keep good jobs in Ontario. We are seeing thousands of jobs at risk. The Financial Accountability Officer has projected the loss of over 60,000 Ontario jobs. Yet the budget has no clear plan to stop manufacturers and equipment from leaving the province. There was a missed opportunity in public education, in colleges and universities, in childcare, at a time when we need to create a more resilient workforce, and colleges and universities and our public schools and our childcare centres are the way to do that. The budget gives us a $1.2 billion cut to college and university funding this year, the following year, and then an additional cut in 2027 to 2028. There's no new funding for special education, school nutrition, school transportation, addressing the huge maintenance backlog in our public school buildings across this province. At a time when schools are facing deficits, classroom teachers are struggling, students are not getting the supports they need, this budget offers 3 years of stagnant funding. It was a missed opportunity in housing. When we are seeing more people homeless than ever before. 80,000 Ontarians in this province are now homeless. The budget would have been a chance for the government to show that they're serious about meeting the housing target that they had set out. And instead, the budget shows that housing starts are basically collapsing down from last year. And the government is projecting to build 22% fewer homes than they did last year. We're at a pace that is less than half of what is needed if we are seriously to get to that $1.5 million home target by 2031. Most importantly, Speaker, it was a missed opportunity in public services and in health care. We are seeing emergency rooms closing across the province, and yet the budget brings us $6.4 billion in cuts to health care. Speaker, there's also nothing in this budget to address the fact that Ontario's unemployment rate right now is the highest in Canada, 7.6%. That's up 1% from what the government had projected last year. And there is no support for those who are facing unemployment, and particularly young people. We just heard from Stats Can that the unemployment rate for 15 to 24-year-olds is higher than it has been in more than 2 decades. 14% unemployment for young people. And the cuts to our colleges and universities are worsening this pressure on young people who can't get into the labour market, can't get the job experience that they need. because our colleges and universities, as they deal with this financial crisis, are looking at closing down, laying off staff, reducing the services that provide support for students seeking co-ops and internships. I'm hearing more and more from students who were promised a work-integrated learning placement, a co-op or an internship, and they're hearing back from their employer that unfortunately that's not going to happen because of the economic uncertainty that we're now in. And students need to get those real-life job experiences in order to avoid what's termed as scarring that comes when people try to enter the labour market without the job experience they need. Speaker, this budget is full of missed opportunities, but it also follows on decades, under this government, since it was elected in 2018, many poor decisions about spending public dollars. We saw a report earlier this month about the $9.2 billion that has been spent over the past 10 years on using private agencies for the health sector. We heard about Shoppers Drug Mart billing almost $62 million for unnecessary, in many cases, medication reviews, and yet the budget announces a further investment of $280 million over 2 years for private clinics, when privatized healthcare is the most expensive way to deliver healthcare because it siphons off public dollars into shareholder pockets, and it also worsens the healthcare worker shortage that we are seeing in this province. We've also just heard about the $40 million that the government spent on self-promoting partisan ads, which just calls into question who this government is working for. Do they care about investing in the people of this province, or are they more interested in their own electoral prospects and their donors and supporters? Speaker, people in this province are struggling. We have, in my community in London, there's 140,000 Londoners who currently do not have access to a family doctor. And we heard in a study that was published just yesterday, we heard that although there may be more family doctors who are graduating, fewer are practicing in family medicine. And the experts who conducted the study have said very clearly that the answer to the primary care crisis isn't just training more doctors, it is making family practice an area that new medical graduates want to go into. We know that doctors spend up to half of their working day on paperwork, and that's a huge deterrent for anyone who wants to go into family medicine. No investment in public health care in this budget. In my community, the Middlesex London Health Unit is the third lowest funded of all 29 public health units in the province. They've had to lay off staff in school health nurses. They've had to cancel participation in community projects because of the layoffs. We saw 22.5 staff positions were cut. This year, they're anticipating as many as another 20 positions to be cut unless their funding crisis is addressed. And the reality is, Speaker, that in London is the fastest growing municipality in the province of Ontario, second fastest in Canada. We are experiencing a very significant population growth, which means that the services of the Middlesex London Health Unit are more necessary than ever and are more overextended than ever, dealing with that large population increase. We are seeing increase in the need for mental health services. I just met with CMHA Thames Valley last week, and the executive director told me that they were looking at a deficit of $2.6 million because of wage harmonization that had to happen when they amalgamated agencies. But the reality is, Speaker, that even with the wage harmonization, the staff who work at CMHA agencies are grossly underpaid given the services that they provide. The CMHA Thames Valley has been able to clear about half of the deficit through restructuring, but they're still looking at a deficit of $1.5 million. And we know that there is a huge need for supportive housing in London and communities across the province, and yet the budget provides no new dollars for operating supports for the staff to provide the wraparound services that people living in supportive housing need. I talked about the fact that there are over 80,000 Ontarians experiencing homelessness. In London, it's close to 2,000 people who are on the homeless by name list. We have 7,500 people who are on a wait list for rent-geared to income housing, who need deeply affordable housing because their income simply will not allow them to find affordable market housing. And it's not just renters who are experiencing the affordability pressures that we are seeing across the province. It's also homeowners. We just got a report about the number of Ontarians who are missing mortgage payments, more than at any time since they first started being tracked by Equifax in 2012. There was a 71% increase in Ontario in the 90-plus day mortgage delinquency rates because there is not enough missing middle housing to enable people to find affordable places to live. People are taking on huge debts in order to find affordable housing. I want to, in the last few minutes that I have, Speaker, I wanted to focus particularly on the cuts to colleges and universities that I had mentioned at the outset. And I want to remind the government of the letter that they received when we came back to, or shortly after the election, as we were preparing to return to the legislature, a joint letter from the Ontario Chamber of Commerce that was signed by every Chamber of Commerce in every community across the province. It was also signed by Colleges Ontario and the Council of Ontario Universities. And in the letter, they call on the government to make immediate and effective investments to avoid the difficult decisions that institutions are having to make for cancelling programs, laying off staff, reducing student services that will compromise the quality of education and limit accessibility to post-secondary education. We know that there is expected growth in the post-secondary age population in Ontario. HECO, an arm's-length agency of the government, has identified the need for 225,000 more student spaces to meet the demand from domestic students. And yet this government has yet to do anything to address the fact that students in this province, high-achieving students in this province, are not able to access the education that they need and deserve. This joint letter that was issued in March by the Chamber of Commerce, Colleges Ontario, and the COU, the number one recommendation that they made was to increase base operating revenues. Now this government announced some new investments in the budget, although overall there's a cut of $1.2 billion, as I said, but none of the new investments that the government announced address the fact that there is no increase to base operating revenues, and the response that the government had made to the sector a year or so ago about the need for some kind of stability in the funding formula was less than half of what the sector needed. Speaker, I started out by referencing what's going on with our neighbours to the south and Trump's attack on our economy. Without stabilizing and sustaining our post-secondary sector, we will not be able to build the resilient workforce that we need to respond to those threats of Trump's tariffs. So I encourage the government to listen to the Chamber of Commerce, listen to the Council of Manufacturers and Exporters, who are also calling for stability in the post-secondary sector, and make the investments that the sector needs. Thank you very much, Speaker.